If you're anything like me, you love your 86. It's awfully fun to drive, but it's far from perfect. And if you're even more like me, the car was purchased outside the North American market, most of which shipped without cruise control as standard on the manual transmission versions. Initially, that didn't really bother me, but after I started having to make longer trips fairly regularly, my foot got sick of it real quick. So after a bit of research, I found out that the ECU actually does support cruise control out of the box, which is not surprising considering that it came standard on the BRZ and FRSs. Some extremely helpful forum posts on FT86 Club suggested and detailed the addition of an aftermarket cruise control stick. So I decided to give it a shot, hopped on Amazon and ordered the part. However, shipping from the US took forever, and in the meantime, I got really impatient. Based on the schematics from this nice gentleman, I threw together my own on a breadboard to see if it would work. And it did work, and this is what it looked like. But this ghetto setup wasn't really gonna cut it for the long term. The part finally arrived, so now we're gonna go about installing and testing it. This connector is not going to fit directly into the vehicle. We're going to have to make a small modification. So let's get to it. We're going to need to remove this horn section, which also seats the airbag. Here is one of the pins that we need to push in order to release this section. You can use a spudger or a flathead screwdriver to get these. When pushing these pins, make sure the flat edge is perpendicular to you. Once all the pins are pushed, this section will pop free. Make sure to keep your hand in place so that it doesn't fall. Gently take out this section, but don't pull on the connections still holding in place. This white connector will be plugged into your clock spring. You need to press the release on top and pull it out. You also need to take out the airbag wire. You can use a small flathead screwdriver to release the clip and disconnect the airbag wire. And with that, your horn and airbag assembly is now free. You can take it and set that aside. I'm just disconnecting some wires here that I'd used for my ghetto cruise control. Finally, to take off the steering wheel, you're going to have to loosen this 17mm bolt in the center. It's a little tight, but once you get it loose, don't take it off completely and pull the steering wheel towards yourself to free it. With the steering wheel free, we can install the cruise control stick. But as you can see, we need to first make a hole here in the back plastic cover of the steering wheel. After a couple of screws, you can release the plastic sections from the steering wheel. You can also test fit the cruise control stick, and this plastic rear cover is off to the cutter. Now for the horn and airbag assembly. This connector needs to be modified so that the wires from the cruise control stick can connect to the clock spring. Removing the retention clips from the bottom of both connectors will free the wires and the terminals. We need to take the wires from the cruise control stick and attach it to our original connector. Right next to the green wire, which is for the horn, we'll attach the red wire followed by the black wire from the cruise control stick. To ensure proper placement, you can refer to this diagram here from the aforementioned forum post. You can clip the plastic retention clip back in and secure all three wires and terminals. After ensuring the wires are secure, you can disconnect the other end from the cruise control stick. And we can go ahead installing that into the steering wheel. This connector will plug back into your clock spring. After making the necessary cuts, we can install the cruise control stick with the supplied screws. Make sure the back plastic cover is secured to the steering wheel and screw it in place along with the front plastic cover. After reinstalling the steering wheel, remember to reattach the connector to the cruise control stick as well as the main connector to the clock spring before reattaching the airbag and horn section. After reassembly, pushing the on-off button on the cruise control stick should light up the cruise control indicator on the gauge cluster.